Hey there everyone, thank you for stopping by our YouTube channel. This is the inaugural video for Blitz Gaming. We have a large, dedicated group working on tons of content that we'll be uploading regularly, as well as some weekly shows to provide new and interesting content on a regular basis. No matter what you're into, shooters, MOBAs, survival horrors, or even platformers, you'll find something to enjoy here on Blitz. We'll be uploading plenty of videos with live and post commentary, as well as request videos, group events, and maybe even some live streaming events later down the line. If you ever have any games you'd like to see or suggestions to make our channel better, we always encourage you to leave a comment in the comment box below. We draw our inspiration from the numerous great gamers here on YouTube, but we really want to avoid being derivative. We seek to provide new outlooks on weapons, characters, playstyles, maps, and you name it, to try to help make you a better player, and hopefully you'll enjoy yourself in the process. This particular video is some of my gameplay in Battlefield 3 on Zeba Tower in the Gunmaster game mode. I've always loved any type of gun game mode all the way back to Counter-Strike in the early 2000s because it really gives you a good chance to try out some guns you might normally have used and perhaps even find a new favorite in the process. Right off the bat we start out with one of my preferred pistols in the game, the M443. There's nothing really special about this pistol, it's one of the starting ones. The thing is you get 18 rounds instead of the normal 15 that you get with the M9 Beretta. That gives a little bit of advantage because the damage values are the same. And we move on here to the 93R, 93 Raffica. This is one of my preferred pistols in the game. It does the same pistol damage as everything else, but that burst fire is surprisingly accurate. Then we move on to the Magnum. Everyone's favorite Magnum. This thing does that crazy 60 damage up close and tapers off to only 30 long range. You can see here I'm getting some good hit fire shots. I get a headshot on that guy for getting taken down with the MP443. And going to the next spawn. I don't use the Magnum so much anymore. I used to use it a whole lot more than I do now. The 93R has really taken over my preferred pistol slot. Because that burst fire is really invaluable. But if you're going to be using something and you want that high power for long range, the Magnum is the one you want to go with. And again, getting taken down from behind this time with the MP443, so let's give it one more spawn. Seems to be a pretty big fight going on right here. Guy down the hallway, get a good shot, but also take some hits from the side. And doesn't look like there's anyone around here, so I take the time to reload. I always check my map before I reload to make sure there's no enemies around. And again, taken out. Not my best gameplay with the Magnum, definitely. Alright, let's see what I can do here. Over on this side of the map is always dangerous because there's a lot of places to get shot in the back, especially if you're down there in the cafe area. And I'm actually checking it to make sure right now. In Conquest Domination, that's a very dangerous cap point. And looking down to see a guy right here. I'm going to see if I can pop off a headshot. Take aim, and boom, down. Alright, moving on to the PP-19, the Bison with the suppressor. Now, this gun is really not one of my favorites. As you can see right there, I just unloaded into that guy and still managed to get killed from behind. It does that real low PDW damage to start with anyway, but then you add that suppressor in there and it really just neuters it at range. It's got a big magazine and the hip fire is pretty acceptable. The iron sights also aren't bad, but PDWs aren't really my preferred weapons. The reload's also pretty long on this, especially compared to something like the P90, which should be the next weapon that comes up after this. I don't think I've ever really used the PP-19 in normal gameplay. If I get any unlocks for it here, they're probably the pretty early ones like the ACOG and the Reflex and the Suppressor and things like that, because I don't know that I've ever really used it in normal gameplay. The P90, however, is a different story. I get plenty of kills with this thing. It's not one of my top weapons, but if I want something I'm going to spray and pray with, throw a laser sight on there, this thing has some crazy hip fire. Moving on to the SPAS 12. Now this has become my preferred shotgun over the 870 shotgun. Mainly because of the faster fire rate. As far as the stats go, they're pretty much exactly the same. The difference being the 870 is going to shoot one more pellet in buckshot as compared to the SPAS. And I actually get taken down by someone with the SPAS, checking the scoreboard to see who's ahead of me. The spots that give you in Gunmaster is completely naked. No extra attachments, no extended mags, anything like that. Get a good kill right there in the back. And another one looking down the hallway. Now this thing is the bane of my existence. It's the jackhammer with the frag rounds. You can see a teammate actually stepped in front of me and caused to get some explosive damage on myself. You get that guy because he's not paying attention, and do a dumb reload right there and get killed by about 3 different guys coming around the corner. You see there are 3+ people ahead of me, so I know I got to step it up here. Now that guy was already hurt, a few shots at his feet, and he's down. And I'm onto the ACR, and I'll actually have a video on the ACR coming up pretty soon. This had actually become my preferred carbine when I'm playing Engineer, although now that I've got about 500 kills with it, 500, 600, I'm starting to realize it's not that great, but I'll talk more about that in a future video. Not sure what happened there with the spray. The MTAR is one of the better hip-fire weapons in the game. It's a bullpup, so it's got that hip-fire bullpup bonus. It happens to have pretty good intrinsic hip-fire anyway, and they give you laser sight to help you out with it, and you can get a headshot right there with that hip-fire. Using this thing with sights is almost not even recommended, just because it's not going to give you much over just letting it rip. And here I go to the AUG, dropping pretty quick with that, and move on to the SCAR. I'll have a video for the AUG coming up soon. The SCAR is good for those long-range kills. Not going to find many of those in close quarter. There was one, and there you go. I get taken down by the MTAR with that hipfire. I'm in the lead right now. I'd like to keep it. Someone's tied with me, so I'm with that SCAR. And there we go, real close one right there. Move on to the LSAT. The useless LSAT. This thing just has no place in the game. It's completely outclassed by every other LMG, and if it's trying to be an assault rifle, it's not doing a very good job. It doesn't help that they give you some really strange attachments in Gun Gang for this. They give you the 3.4 power scope and a laser sight. While the hip fire on this thing is okay, the recoil on this when you're firing is very poor. This one is never really a roadblock, but I always want to get past it as soon as possible, just because look how much of the screen that scope takes up. It fires a 556 round. Yeah, this is the one reason why I will use it, because it's got that huge magazine. Now this thing, the L86, I actually just got my mastery dog tag with this the other day, and again another stupid reload when I had plenty of ammo left, get taken down by a guy with the Refka. L86 has become my preferred LMG, mostly because it pretty much works exactly as the L85 in assault rifle. It's got the same damage modes, or the same damage ranges as all the other assault rifles, and so it works pretty much the same. Here we move on to the M417, and this thing is just a beast. Move on to the JNG, my preferred bolt-action sniper rifle now, mostly just because I like the way it looks. I'll have a video on that coming up soon too. And this thing is always my huge roadblock, the LVG, Low Velocity Grenade, which basically just fires a timed grenade instead of a direct explosive one. See a guy running up there, I happen to get a lucky kill with it and move on to the knife, and this is always my favorite stage. Not always the fastest to get a kill with, but it's just fun running around stalking people, being as quick as you can. And here's a guy being stupid right here with his LMG, running after him. And stand still. There it is, game over. So that was one of my victories in Gun Game. A pretty solid victory if I say so myself. Again, if you want to rate and subscribe, we'll have more videos coming out soon. And not just Battlefield 3, plenty of other games as well. We look forward to having you guys back for all of our videos. And thank you for joining the inaugural video of Blitz Gaming. See ya, guys.